Coronavirus disease, COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by a new type of virus. The disease causes respiratory illness like the flu, with symptoms such as coughing, fever, and in some cases, difficulty breathing. At the time of filming, there was over 1 million reported cases, with over 62,000 deaths, affecting 209 countries around the world. The spread of this disease is unlike anything remembered in recent times, and its effects will not be forgotten for generations. What follows is a look into the lives of those affected by coronavirus. People who have lost their jobs, business owners who have shut down for the foreseeable future, and some whose livelihoods, maybe their very lives, are at stake.
I'd say the beginning would have to be my father's business. He owned a computer parts distributing business in
Oh,
Fresno
wow.
in the late 80s, 90s, and grew up around computers my entire life, building them for a family business of sorts, and then branching into high school and actually consulting with other businesses in high school. And actually, funny enough, I senior year got a job as a quality assurance engineer at a local software company, and then after about a year, decided actually I didn't want to do that anymore, and I actually left. Went to college, got a degree in nursing, and then actually through nursing, that's actually when I started my business. My last year in nursing, started Kutech in 2010. We have to do some certain things to continue to do business here at Ku Technologies. There are certain guidelines that we have to follow. You've got to take care of your health as number one. If you're not able to be healthy, you can't come to work. And of course, the more scary thing is if you get it and you've been around somebody, then we're all sick and we're all at home. And so the first thing I said to my employees was, my intention is to operate through this because we are one of the 16 critical infrastructure supported, like, I guess we are a critical sector. Our industry, information technology, is critical. So we are a necessity. We can't operate throughout this entire period. So like I said, number one, these are the things you need to do as we operate through this. And I have not had to look at an alternative at this point. We have seen, like I said, one industry completely decimated. So that's probably 35% of our clientele there that are closed. The business is far different than what it was 10 years ago. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's the secret to being successful in any business is evolving and innovating. And so 2020, yeah, it's definitely set of challenges already, but yeah, I mean, it's a completely different animal. 10 years ago, this probably would have prevented my company to move forward. But today, because of a lot of the contracts that we have with certain organizations, and actually with the use of this remote technology, Zoom, and other technologies that allow you to my whole entire staff, they're actually all employed at this point, working either from home or remotely, because we are able to use technology and harness it, which 10 years ago we couldn't. You had to go on site. You had to be there in person. So I learned of coronavirus in, I want to say, this third or fourth week of December. I actually have family that live in China and Singapore. So there was not a name. There is some sort of disease, some sort of illness, some sort of uh, being a nurse, some sort of situation whereby people are getting sick. And obviously the name it's transformed from Corona, COVID, and et cetera, et cetera. But somewhere in, like, mid to late December, when it first hit my radar. Everyone's okay. The interesting thing about those areas, they handle business differently. In China, it being a communist country, they don't need compliance. They issue and you follow. Singapore was really good about their procedure of how they went about it, and they treated it very quickly. And yeah, I mean, my wife's family's from Singapore, so Matter of fact, yeah, a good portion of them are still in Singapore. So yeah, so they're about 3 months ahead of us. I think because I had the information early and because I do have the medical background as being a nurse, February, we were already well aware of what was going to happen. Um, you know, there's a lot of confusing information, whether this is data that's skewed. So February, I was already in planning mode. I had already put myself in position with certain phases of projects and certain positions with our customers to be ready for a coronavirus. Matter of fact, when the shutdown for the state came in, it really didn't impact us too much because we were already preparing certain protocols to deal with the social distancing, the lack of travel, the lack of supplies. Matter of fact, I ordered the last 40 units out of my distribution warehouse, computers uh, before they ran out. We've been ahead of the eight ball because, again, early notice. Been watching what Italy has happened there. More specifically, Italy, because China did not really give us a lot. Singapore, like I said, did an excellent job, and they didn't have to shut down nearly as much. But when I saw what was happening in Italy, yeah, I went into action very quickly. So February for me was more about this is no longer a question of if this comes; it's a when this comes, and how we prepare. So we've been trying to stay one step ahead, and that's where we are today in March. Again, just staying one step ahead because it has decimated one of my industries. It has completely decimated the dental industry, which we are a specialist for. They are absolutely decimated. I would say a good number of them may not come out of this. I think because they do run a very tight margin. They do have to leverage. It's a lot of overhead to run a dental office, and it's just scary because they need to produce X amount, and when they can't, you could probably go a month, 2 months, but what's going to happen is there's going to be fallout whereby they may be able to go back to work in 2 months, but they're not going to be able to pay their bills, which
Right.
my company would be one of those vendors that they need to pay. They're also not going to have patients flocking in. That's not going to be the first response. You're going to see consumers kind of just, hold back because, hey, I don't want to get sick because I didn't get it. And number two, I don't have the money. Or if I do have the money, I'm saving and hold on to it because cash is king. 6 months, I see doors opening. Um, still, I still think that we're going to see, I think around August, we'll start to see some normalcy. We'll start to see things become a little bit more comfortable. 6 months, I feel like that's when the doors are finally open, where we all feel safe. We can go outside, we can bump fists and all that good stuff. We're finally in the clear. Yeah, I think 1 year we will see definitely by the first and second quarter of next year a lot more normalcy. The economic fallout is going to be something we've never seen. I think we're going to be looking at something for the next similar to 2008, probably for the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years. And I don't. The thing is, the world is so integrated. Our
Right.
economies are so tied together that, again, those that can plan now and accept the realities sooner will prevail. And so yeah, I think honestly we're looking at a 5 to 10 year time frame. Yeah, in 25 years we're going to look at this as a historical time. And I think the historical part of this will be not so much the event, not so much the deaths, not so much the failure to prepare and react and prevent. I think you're going to see a landmark set of not, I won't say innovation, but change. The world is going to change after this event because you're looking at China now completely differently. You have Americans now that understand the number one thing they need to do is spend in the USA, buy from the USA. That's going to be That's a change. And China is using, I think, I can't remember how much GDP they've lost already. I thought I saw it was 2 or 3 trillion or something crazy like that. But there's a shift. All of a sudden now people are, Americans are buying in America. They're manufacturing back in America. Now there's a shift with China. And so it's, yeah, in the next 25 years, I think we'll be looking back at this and going, yeah, this is how the world is now after that event.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of COVID-19 in 2020. What you've just heard is one such example of the devastating effects of this virus and how indiscriminate they are. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes where we plan on looking into every industry possible so that we can find out the true effects of this virus.